I love this month's blog post topic because we wrote about orgasm as a survival skill. And right now, for all of us, I think the only lifeline I have is my orgasm.
Yes. And Carlin, we were talking a little bit before the video. I loved how you said that orgasm brings hope. Why is that?
It's creative energy, it's life
Mhm.
force energy. It's kind of like a cycle of life, and you get a hit of the pleasure hormones, and you go, wait, I do have hope because I do have hope. I'm not going to leave America. I'm going to
Yeah.
stay here and I'm going to fight for my democratic ideals and my constitution and my civil liberties. And I think we're all kind of feeling that wherever we are in the world. It's like, I hope and I stand for love and peace.
Yes, yes. So it's a real temptation to just disconnect from your body, with alcohol, with cannabis, or even just feeling numb without
Doom
anything.
scrolling. Doom
Yes,
scrolling, like, put down the phone and go masturbate, and I love we had about 5 writers, and we
yes.
picked some one-liners, and they're just Tosh. Oh my
Oh,
god.
my goodness. Tosh is so good at relating her own experience, but then giving you practical tips. And her writing style is very readable. So here's her excerpt. When I'm regulated in my body, I can engage with difficult news without being consumed by it. When I maintain my connection to pleasure and joy, I maintain my connection to hope. When my nervous system is resourced, I can show up for others from a place of strength rather than depletion.
And she was talking about having family in Minnesota, and she's living in Mexico, and having all those
Mhm.
feelings of fear, where are they? And so she decided, like, on Wednesdays, she calls friends and they just talk on the phone, and I think we lost that as a culture where you just
Mhm.
kinda, like, chew the fat on the phone, what's
Right.
going on in your life, and we just kinda hang out together, and so she's actively taking steps to sit on her terrace with a cup of tea and enjoy the sunset
Yes.
or the
Yes.
sunrise or just taking these moments. So pleasure
Mhm.
is a lot more than just orgasm.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. This month, Kaylee's was probably my favorite because she writes about Bernie Sanders. I guess there was a recent book, and then she read an article about it that Bernie Sanders in his college days was a big fan of Wilhelm Reich. Carlin, who was Wilhelm Reich?
He wrote The Function of Orgasm, and he was a big influence on Betty's work as well. And so what he was saying is a lot of physical and mental disorders are blocked orgasm energy. So if I'm not releasing that energy in the body, body's wired for pleasure and I'm not lighting it up,
Mhm.
and then I'm being shamed and I'm
Mhm.
repressing, and then there's a physical manifestation. And I love how Bernie when he was in college got upset because the girls couldn't have people over their dorm rooms,
Mhm.
and he thought that was wrong, and I'm like, "Of course."
I didn't think I could love Bernie more.
Standing up for our casual sex and us being able to have people over our apartments. I love it.
Right, right. Yes. So, Kaylee's excerpt. I've used orgasm and masturbation to ease menstrual cramps. I've had orgasms lead to a rush of tears. I've had orgasms that soften my anger. I've never had an orgasm where I've remarked, well, I feel worse afterward.
And it's true. So, orgasm is how we regulate the central nervous system. So, sometimes if we're having sadness, we might cry. I've had laughgasms where all of a sudden the laughter
Mhm.
comes out of nowhere, right? And what is that? Some kind of energy or some kind of moment that's stuck in my central nervous system. And I loved how she talked about being a nurse
Mhm.
and how hard it is, and how she can see people that they're not connecting to their orgasm, and you can see what that does to their bodies.
Yes, yes, yes. Orgasm is for your mental health and your physical health. I think that's why Betty lived so long, even though she had the lifestyle of a rock star,
Yeah, drank too much, smoked too much, loved a good T-bone,
right?
you know, always stayed up too late, always
Mhm.
went too far. At the end of her life, she would say, "Carlin, how am I gonna die? Nothing's wrong with me." Like,
Yeah.
she was ready. There's that kind of religious belief that if we deny the body, we feed the soul. What if it's the opposite?
Yes, I think it is the opposite. Definitely. So January, the news in January really, really hit me hard.
Mm.
Especially the shootings in Minneapolis. So the excerpts that you chose for me said, a couple of days later, Carlin and I chatted online after recording a video. We talked about ICE in Minneapolis. Neither of us could understand how some view these shootings as justifiable and righteous. I brought up my ex as an example. Tears burst from my eyes. How could there be such a lack of compassion and humanity from anyone, but especially from someone I loved? It took our conversation for me to connect with my feelings. Later, I was able to connect with my body. I masturbated to orgasm. I dedicated my orgasm energy to Alex Preddy and the residents in Minneapolis. It helped me find a moment of peace.
I love that one. Laura,
Mhm,
I think so many of us, we know people in our lives that are still distracted and still in that cult. And I think that is really heartbreaking for us to see the video of brutality
mhm.
and for people to say, oh, no, that was warranted. And that's a hard thing to process. And see how you couldn't connect to your body?
Yeah. Yep.
Right, there was resistance. So when we hit resistance, it's always also a time for us to pause and say, "Okay, why am I hitting resistance? What do I need to verbalize out loud? What do I need to release?
Mhm.
Or what do I need to change in my life?"
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. So, yes, when you can't connect to your body, can be something underneath it where you need to talk it through. And so that conversation, Carlin, that was just like so key because I was lost. And once I hit my emotion, then I was able to connect and
Mhm.
process it with orgasm.
Very powerful nuance
Hmm.
of pleasure right there.
Yeah. Next, we have Lakota's, and she is a mom, very busy mom with 3 children. And so I love her writing when she connects her orgasm and her pleasure practice with how she copes day to day.
Mm.
So, her excerpt: orgasm is not just pleasure, orgasm is a practice in risking uncertainty, letting intensity live, and staying with ourselves through all of it. The resistance is a survival instinct. Maybe this will destabilize me. Maybe I can't handle the intensity of sensations. Maybe the emotions that come alongside pleasure will be too much.
Mhm.
This resistance is doing its best to keep me safe, and I'm grateful. But sometimes staying safe means not really experiencing life fully.
Whew. We all know that one as
Right?
women. Not
Yes.
to take the risk also means you're not living a full life.
Hmm.
So, that's the thing about orgasm. Sometimes we get close and then it's too much and it's too intense and I don't know what's gonna happen and I'm not gonna be in control and we back off. And
Hmm.
so we can stay in that kind of like pre-orgasmic state for a long time,
Hmm.
but you're not really experiencing life, and that's the point. Like, we
Yes.
take the orgasm, we take the risk. Women, we're so strong. You
Yes.
can take the risk, see what's gonna happen, roll the dice, do it, go all the way, go too far,
Right, right, right. And you never regret an orgasm.
ever.
So next we have Jackie, and she is our newest body sex coach candidate. She's working on her certification, and she's in Australia. Her excerpt is, they are vulnerability, and she's referring to orgasm here. Orgasm, they are a vulnerability. They are a reset. They are release. They are a big exhalation, a sharp intake of breath. They are breathing deeply. They are more likely to happen when I'm not chasing anything, just welcoming sensation. Caresses, kisses, smiles, eye contact. Today's orgasms reset my nervous system, recalibrated my emotions, made me smile like a loon. That's a good thing. Allowed me to enjoy the sensations of an orgasm in a partner situation. I survived today and turned to face the future prepared to thrive.
That's it. An orgasm is low-hanging fruit. It's like, it gets me through the day.
Yeah.
It gives me some hope. I get a little push out of that central nervous system. I ground,
Hmm.
and I live to fight another day.
Yes. Yes. So our next excerpt is from Forrest, and they write, our minds can be hijacked by the sorcery of inhumanity and heartbreak. Our
Mhm.
physical bodies, though, bound to the truth of present momenting, are undupable. So we turn to the wise, all knowing sage of tissue, fluid, eyes, and bone for unperturbed wisdom. We cannot be controlled or manipulated if we're connected to our bodies.
Betty firmly believed that. She
Mhm.
believed that institutions, including organized religion, they always try to repress sexuality and sexual expression for that reason, because it's how we think independently. So put down the phone, the doom scrolling when it seems overwhelming, reconnect with your body,
Mhm.
because
Yes.
that connects us to the physical universe. It grounds us. And yes, we'll get through it.
Mhm.
Life goes on. For me, I walk the dogs and I look at the moon at
Mhm.
night, and I just think, like, "Look at the moon, it's so beautiful." And look at
Yes.
nature, right?
Mhm.
And our bodies are nature.
Yes, yes, yes. And our bodies give us orgasm. Orgasm has a purpose. It's meant to be used. It's meant for pleasure. With your orgasm, you can survive anything.
So if you wanna read these full pieces, go to bodysex.com/orgasm survival skill. Enjoy.